Today we're going to show you how to change the ice bin solenoid in your refrigerator, and it's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a 1/4-inch nut driver, a small flat blade screwdriver, and maybe a pair of needle nose pliers. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, the first thing we should do is to either turn the refrigerator off or disconnect the power by pulling the plug. Then we're going to open the refrigerator door. Then we're going to open the freezer door. And we'll lift up the door in front of the ice maker, and we'll reach in and lift up the shut-off arm on that ice maker to turn it off. We'll next lift up and pull the ice bin completely out, and we'll set that aside. Then next, with a 1/4-inch nut driver, we'll remove the 4 hex head screws in the corners of that housing that holds the auger motor and the solenoid. And before you remove that assembly, you may want to unhinge that light shield. It's got 1 tab in the front and 2 on either side. Just squeeze in on those. Remove that shield and the light bulb so that we don't damage that. So next, we're just going to reach in and lift that whole assembly off of the mounting tabs on the side of the cabinet and just lay it down on the shelf. And then using a small flat blade, we'll reach in and disengage the locking tabs to the wire harness. Remove the harness. And then we can take the whole assembly out and set it on a suitable work surface, and we can change out that part. Now with that assembly sitting on a suitable work surface, we'll remove the 2 1/4-inch hex head screws that secure that solenoid to the mounting bracket. Then we can just lift that solenoid assembly out, slide the little yoke out of the guide tube, and then we can remove the wire connectors, and if they're a little tight, use your needle nose pliers, but grip the connector and not the wires. And we can discard the old solenoid. To replace the new one, we'll start by, first of all, installing the 2 wires. And then we're going to position it so that these 2 pins on the end of the yoke fit into the slots on the side of that guide tube. Lower it into position. And we can flip it over. We'll line up the solenoid bracket with the screw holes in the mounting bracket. And replace the screws with the 2 that came with the kit. And tighten them securely. And then just check the operation. Make sure that that solenoid plunger isn't binding, that our harness is not caught up in anything. And then we can reinstall that assembly back into the refrigerator. Now when reinstalling the assembly, we'll open that freezer door again. We're just going to place that in on the shelf. We'll reconnect the harness first, remembering that the locking tab is on the bottom. And make sure that's fully inserted, and then we can lift that housing up and just hang it over the mounting brackets. And then using our 1/4-inch nut driver, we'll replace the 4 screws and tighten those all securely. We'll reinstall the light bulb. And the shield. Remember, there's a little locking tab in the left front corner and 1 on each side. We'll next put the ice bin back in place. Make sure we lift it up and over the hooks at the front. We'll reach in and turn the ice maker back on. Close up the door and reconnect the power, and our repair is complete.